And we're live. Hey y'all. So I see Instagram here on my phone, but I also have here on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Hi y'all. Good morning. Good afternoon. For those of you who are a little further out, we are talking about that Venmo grant that is due today. So I know that a lot of us are busy, and it's really easy for grant deadlines to just kind of sneak up on us and catch us by surprise. So I wanted to talk to y'all about this grants. And I see Dr. Kathy Tatum says grant time. You know it. That's what you were here for. So I see a lot of y'all. We're going to be talking about that Venmo grant. Some of you already applied. Okay, good job. Awesome. I see Zebra's here. Hey. I see Dr. Kathy Tatum's here. We also have a few special guests behind the screens this time. So and if they're interested in sharing, we will spend some time on that. Good morning. I see Facebook user has also joined the scene. I'm going to go ahead and just invite a few more folks. If you can go ahead and ping your crew, your squad, your team, your folks into this space, that would be great. I want to make sure that people know about this opportunity because, like I said, like it comes up and then we're all caught off guard. We're just like, oh, dang, it's here. So I want to make sure y'all are applying for these grants if you're eligible. And if you're not eligible, that you're telling your friends, your family, your loved ones, your people about it so that we can help lift each other up while we go after these opportunities. So with that said, some of y'all are like already popping off in the chat. I see a couple of y'all. Yes, apply. Kia, good morning. Good morning, Pucks. And I see Wendy here. Hey, Wendy does amazing work with young people, y'all. So we want to make sure that we are always lifting up our leaders who are creating space for the next generation. I see on YouTube, on Instagram, we got a few folks too. Hi, SBA, SBAL Foundation. Awesome, you rushed in. Yes, let's talk about this. Y'all, we are going to talk about that Venmo grant again. I know some of you watched the detailed walkthrough we have in our challenge group, which you can reach at inclusivedatachallenge.com. Oh, my kiddo just woke up. 1 second, y'all. Good morning, my sweets. Good morning. You looking fancy with that hat. I love it. I'm going to be live for a little bit longer. And then after that, we can hang out if you'd like. Okay. So, my goodness, y'all, it is a beautiful day. My 8.5-year-old just woke up. I am happy camper. How many of y'all got kids? Let me know. Y'all got kids? You got like nieces, nephews, young people in your life? Are you a teacher? Some of y'all are teachers or educators. Let me know if children are a part of your like daily or near daily experience because it can be lonely out here. I'm not gonna lie. When you are parenting, sometimes it could be a little hard. So let's get to it. Y'all, this grant we are talking about today is going to be the Venmo grant. Oh my gosh, sorry, Dr. Kathy Tatum's response. Too many kids. Dang. Kia, you have a 12-year-old. That's right. I keep thinking your kid is the same age as when we first met, and that's never how it works out with children. Uh, SVAL Foundation says, almost 7-year-old who thinks she's a teenager. Listen, my kid keeps my whole life together. I will be about to do something. My kid will come up. You got 5 more minutes. Just like, dang. Wendy has teenagers. Yes, teenagers are fun. I'm looking forward to teenagers again. My wife and I were licensed foster parents for queer and trans youth of color for a minute, and so I just really enjoy teenagers. Awesome. Hi, some gal 20. Okay, so let me just do some reintroductions because some of y'all are new to me. I'll be quick because I don't like to spend a lot of time talking about background. I like to get to the money. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Sean Glaze. I use they them pronouns, and I'm the Chief Consulting Officer for Inclusive Data. And Inclusive Data, if people know about us at all, they usually know about us for grants. I'm not gonna lie, like they know about us because we're the team that has gotten well over 18 million in 18 months for Black communities. It has been amazing to be able to support community in this way. We are thrilled to be able to support community to learn how to do this stuff, especially for free as part of our free challenges. In fact, we have a free challenge that's coming up this month on the 23rd through the 26th I'll put the link in the chat for you on Instagram. Zafra, I didn't know you were parented by the tween. I didn't know you about that life. Awesome. So the website, though, if y'all need to get into this challenge, it's free. It's a free challenge. It's inclusivedatachallenge.com. And that's for our free challenge happening. I'm just typing this in August 23rd through 26th. And while I post this for the Instagram crew, for the rest of y'all, if you're signed up, let us know in the chat because it's going to be awesome. I'm really proud of this next challenge because we're going to be talking about 6-figure funding. And that's going to be like the whole focus during this 4-day challenge. And we're going to be giving y'all a lot of tips, tricks, of course, but also strategy for how to actually achieve 6-figure funding, things that we've done, things that we've seen other people do that have been successful. And we'll be posting even more receipts. Some of y'all know, because you're on our email list, that we recently won a multi-million-dollar grant and for creating resources for Black communities. And I'm just really excited to talk to y'all a little bit more about that during the challenge. But today, we are not talking about the challenge. Today, we are talking about the Venmo grant and tips for y'all, how y'all can have really strong applications for it. Oh, okay, cool. Someone's birthday is coming up. Awesome. So some of y'all may be located outside the country. So we have a couple people on Instagram that are located in Africa. And so I've been thinking a lot about like how we can better support folks that are in Africa. A lot of the tips that we're talking about today will apply to multiple funders across the world. So while the Venmo grant might not be something you're eligible for, I'll make sure to be including tips that could actually help you get to where you need to go. And look at that, some collaboration happening in the chat. Love to see it. Okay, y'all. So first you might be like, what is this Venmo grant you keep talking about, Sean? Like, what is that? So if you go to venmo.com/business/small-business-grant, I would have put at the bottom of the screen here for the crew that's joining on, let's see, all the other channels that's not Instagram. But essentially, if you just open your Venmo app, you should also be able to see it there. You need to have a business account in order to apply for this. You have to be at least 18 years old. You have to have a real business, have it connected to your business checking account, like make this like super easy for everybody by having things set up correctly. So get your business account, business checking account, connect it to your Venmo business profile. Should only take a few minutes to do. We had a few people sign up during our last walkthrough. They're just like, I'm just going to sign up for my business account. I'm just going to sign up for my business profile. Go ahead and do it. The grant itself is going to ask you about your Venmo profile, so and what you're going to do and how it's going to help you. So you want a Venmo profile, you need that. Make sure. People are saying it did not take long. That's true. When I'm looking at people, they're just like, it took like 5 minutes for me to get my stuff in there. Just really basic. You have time to make it sparkle later. At least get the Venmo business profile, and then later we can make it sparkle. All right, so you have to have a small business. And so you have to, they have an income requirement here. That's really important to know. So you have to have been active for at least $500 worth of goods and services in the last 3 months. So we're in August right now, right? So June, July, August, $500 or more each of those months, for example, on your business account. So for some of you, like you may be there, some of you may have surpassed that, but just make sure you know that about that eligibility criteria. You also have to be small in that you have to have 10 or fewer or 10 or less employees, and you have to have less than $50,000 in annual sales this year. So if you haven't hit your 6-figure mark, chances are pretty good actually that you might not have hit 50,000 in sales yet for this year. So if that's you, this grant, if those criteria are yours and you have like actual business, like business documents, you're registered with the Secretary of State in the US, then make sure that you have that, and then otherwise you're good to go. So the thing I'm going to start with today, just to recap for y'all, is like sort of like, I don't want to say the secret criteria, but it's like the criteria you would have to click on the terms and conditions and read through to find. And that's the judging criteria for this grant. So a lot of times when beginners start their grant journey, they don't read through that section. That section is what's going to like decide whether you get this grant or not. So I went ahead and copy pasted what they have there into this StreamYard. So here we have the first part, which is about 30% will be towards how inspirational, innovative, or particularly original your business idea or your business story is. So we want to make sure it's not copy paste. 1 second. Awesome. So Instagram crew got to hear me and my kiddo have a little conversation just for y'all, Instagram. But for the rest of us, 30% is going to be how inspiring, original, or innovative your idea is. Can you help me? Thanks. 30% will also be how well does your application demonstrate a passion for your small business and concrete plans for where you plan to take it next. So this Venmo grant that we're talking about today, it is due today, and they're going to want to know like how a bit about your story and also a bit about your passion and like where you're going next. The way I like to encourage y'all to think about this is imagine they're writing that press release, right? When you read a story in the news or like you hear maybe like a podcast talk about something, they usually give you some background, right? They're not just gonna be like, here's Sean, and then Sean talks, right? They're gonna be like, here's Sean, Sean's originally from Texas and started out like with a love for science. And then eventually, right? It's like they're gonna tell a story and they're gonna talk about where we're going next or what we've done or where we're going. So they might say something like Sean's won and like with their team has won over 18 million in 18 months for Black communities. And next, they're gonna be doing a challenge at the end of August, right? So think about it that way, where it's like you're gonna help them tell the story. They want to be able to use your application, kind of copy and paste some parts, and then like send it out to the team that's going to send it out. So we want to do as much of that work for them as possible. The other 40% of the grant application is split in two parts. And asks like how well does your application demonstrate that using a Venmo business profile continue to benefit your business. So they want to know how it's helpful for them, for their particular platform to help you with your business. A lot of y'all who did not read the terms and conditions will miss this part. And this is probably going to be the easiest way for them to determine whether or not to even read your application. Because all they will have to do is search the applications for Venmo or Venmo business profile. And if an application doesn't mention Venmo or Venmo business profile, they're probably just going to throw it out. Now, I don't know that for sure, right? I'm not a reviewer for this application, but I've reviewed so many grant applications, and it's usually like a rule like this that we use to determine if something's even worth reading. So definitely want to encourage y'all to keep that in mind. Hi, Somelo. It's good to see you. We have a few folks who just joined. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Carmen. Hey, Dania. Hey, Tamara. Hey, Bridget. Hey, all. Hey. We are almost done going through the criteria. Then I'm going to talk a little bit more about like tips and ideas or how to apply for grants, especially grants that are like this, very simple seeming. And then we'll just invite people to come up and chat with us. So I'm really excited for that. The last thing that y'all will have is this question here. How, if applicable, has being a member of a historically underrepresented community, Black, women, Latinx, etc., shaped your entrepreneurial experience? And so, y'all, a lot of us, like, we're really tempted when we're a part of these communities to just kind of leave it at, I'm a member of this community, and then, like, that's it. But like, imagine you're telling the story to someone who's not part of our community. They don't know what it means to be Black. Like, they might not know what it means to be a woman. Like, they might not know what it means to be Latinx, etc. Right? So, like, tell the story in a way that like helps them understand what it actually means in terms of entrepreneurship. So they're probably expecting answers that are like, I have limited access to capital and systems aren't designed for me. So remember earlier how we talked about how your story needs to be inspirational, innovative, or particularly original. We don't want to give them things that aren't original. And you can mention those things, but do it like in a newer twist kind of way. And so one tip that I have for you, if you're feeling really stuck and you didn't get that detailed walkthrough that's inside of our like free challenge group, then at least think about it in terms of like, okay, like what are all the different ways to tell a story? It's like you could do a poem, you could do a spoken word, you could do a first person view, you could do a third person view, you can tell the story from like a child's perspective, right? I have an 8.5-year-old. You could be really original by just shifting the perspective of like the voice you're using to tell the story. So I want y'all to really be thinking about that, because that's 20% of your application. And it's very similar to the third question on the application itself. And so you might be tempted to just kind of, wing it. But I just want you to really think about that creativity part as you move forward. So I'm just going to go through. I'm going to share my screen for a second, just to show you the actual grant, because some of you are asking for this. You're like, I don't even know what this thing looks like. What does it look like? I haven't seen it. I haven't started. It sounds hard. It's not hard. So here, I'm going to flip the screen for the Instagram crew. So when you click on that link for the Venmo grant, either because you opened Venmo and in your business account, you just clicked on the button, or you went to venmo.com/business/small-business-grant, you get this page that has a lot of information. Scroll down. You'll get this section that says, what would $10,000 mean for your business? This is the actual form. And remember, they're not just giving you money, y'all. I meant to mention this earlier, because this is something that I know a lot of beginners miss out on. They're going to give you a $10,000 grant, the winners at least, a $10,000 grant to boost the business, public promotion on the Venmo and PayPal websites and social profiles, business resources, and professional consulting services. So they're giving you money. They're giving you promotions, like marketing, basically. And then they're giving you some tools, tips, and professionals who can help you. So we want to make sure that our application reflects that we understand that that's what's on the table. I encourage y'all, since some of you are going to submit this today by the deadline, 11:59 Eastern time at night, we want to make sure that you have social media profiles here that are consistent with the story you're going to submit. We want to make sure that your employees are 10 or less, and that your revenue is $50,000 or less for this year. In terms of your business revenue, your personal revenue can be higher. We'd love to hear about your business and background and how you made it to where you are today. Remember, innovative, inspiring, original. Here they say, what does the future look like for your business, and how can Venmo help you achieve your goals? Notice this question is asking how Venmo can help you. Remember, part of the scoring criteria, y'all, was about making sure that you talk about how the Venmo business profile will help your business. So this is the question where that would be a good spot to put that, right? And then here, this is that last question that we just talked about in terms of your journey and making sure that it's still original. So those are the key things that I want to make sure y'all are aware of today. As a recap, we covered a lot of different ideas about how to, let me stop sharing my screen. There you go. About how to approach this. I gave you some specific techniques that you can use to still create an inspiring original story without having to feel like you have to dig too deep in order to get there. And we talked about just some of the ways to think about the scoring criteria. We have a few folks that have a message to kind of to talk to us. So I see that we have a few of y'all saying that you've applied a few times without receiving a confirmation email. If you look at the terms and conditions, what they tell you is that they will only accept your first application. And so even if you apply multiple times, or you applied before and now you want to apply differently because you know more tips, they're only going to take your first application. And then they also have some description there, hey, Courtney, about what you should do or consider. Awesome. So Eliza says, great info. Eliza, thank you. We have a little time to bring folks onto the screen. So for those of you who are behind the scenes, because you're on my email list, please go ahead and turn on your camera if you would like to come up with me and chat. We'll have about 8 minutes or so we can chat with a few of y'all. And when your screen is on, I can pull you up. So I see Bridget, your screen is on. Bridget, are you ready to come up? Okay. You are driving though. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Bridget.
I'm not driving. My daughter is driving this time. Woo. Hey.
Hey. Awesome. It's good to hear you.
Me?
I can hear you just fine. I'm going to switch you. Sorry. Continue.
No, I'm about to say we are on the road. This time I'm not driving. My daughter is. So yes.
That's awesome. How are you and your daughter doing?
Absolutely amazing, amazing. Tired from our vacation, but we are doing back to
audio and I can't change the audio. Let me change it back, y'all, so we can hear you. Test. There we go. Okay, go ahead,
All right.
Bridget.
I was saying I'm back to work. We're back to work after vacation, so we're a little exhausted, but we got work to do, so it's time to get her done.
Oh man.
Can you hear me?
Of course.
Can you hear me?
There you go. It's back.
Okay, good. I was saying, I don't know if you heard me. I said we're exhausted from vacation, but time to go
Exhausted
back to
from
work.
vacation. I feel you. Yes. I'm glad
Uh,
to see you. One of the things I will say is sometimes you come back from vacation, like you said, like you're exhausted, you need like another day or two or a week or two. What's really cool though is when you're picking things back up, when you have your stuff organized, like so the way that you, and I know you've done this before, when you're preparing for questions, you just kind of get it all laid out for you, then it's a lot easier. One thing I do encourage you to do though, and this is going to seem kind of silly, but every time I come back from vacation, I really wish that I do this thing where I record content of myself coming back from vacation because it's super relatable. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, whew, I just came back from vacation. Guess who needs a vacation, right? And then people really relate with that. And then for a grant like this, where they're asking y'all to like tell your story and be innovative and original and be a business owner, like you can have that be part of your social media posts. I'm a business owner, you know, just like I just came back from vacation. I need another one. But I'm, you know, excited about, you know, where I'm going next. Even though it seems silly, they love stuff like that. They're like, this is a real person. They're not just trying to like show me only the good side. They're showing me the exhaustion or like the, you know, confusion about what to do next or just like normal stuff. So yeah, if you have time and you're just like, I don't I don't want to have to think too hard about content, I definitely encourage you to think about doing that.
wow, that is such a great suggestion to even utilize that because I do need to upgrade my social media so that grants and different things like this can actually flow with what I'm applying for. So thank you so much again, Sean, for all of
Sure.
the information. For this right here, with the small businesses that haven't reached that $50,000 mark.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is there any one particular focus that you feel that they're really looking in for?
Yeah, good question. I'm gonna answer this question and then I'll take you down. So your question is just like, do you think there's like what's one particular focus they're looking for, especially for the businesses that haven't yet hit their 50? A lot of times, businesses that haven't yet hit their 50 for the year at this point, there's like structural or like concrete things that need to be addressed that isn't just the money, and they want to know that y'all know that. So a lot of times they're just like, man, if I just had the money, it'd be fine, but if someone gave you $10,000 tomorrow, you wouldn't know what to do with it. And so they want to know that you have a plan for that 10,000. This is a really good question because when you look at the scoring criteria and you look at the questions themselves, it's not 100% clear where you would put that. You know, like where would I put that plan that I have? But where I would do is, let me just share my screen. I would really look at that question about the concrete steps. Share my screen here, which is here. Um, what does the future look like for your business and how can Venmo help you achieve your goals? I think the strongest applications are going to have some numbers in here about like what, you know, you would do with $10,000. So you could answer the question like, you know, if Venmo were to give me, you know, $10,000 tomorrow and, you know, amplify my Venmo business profile, you know, and connect me with mentors, I would do I would spend this much on this and this much on that and this much on this. And I wouldn't have that many categories. I would pick maybe 3 things, maybe 4, but like no more than 4 things that you're planning to spend that money on. And they would all be they would all clearly help boost my business because that's the language they use. So your question's great. Like I think a lot of times we forget that the funders want to hear that storytelling. Like we're just like, oh, they want to know about me. It's like, yeah, they do, but they also want to be able to really imagine what those dollars are going to do for you and your community. So awesome. Thank you, Bridget. That was a really good question. Are there any final thoughts you have before
So much
we?
again, and that really does help.
And it does help. Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you. I'll go ahead and remove you from the stream for a second. That was really great question. And I'm looking in our Instagram to see. I'll watch the replay. Great. Awesome. Sweet. So we have just like one more minute or so. I don't see any more cameras on. So I will start just talking a little bit more about what is next. I'm going to switch here. Thank y'all for coming to this like thing where we're talking about this Venmo grant. Awesome. So Charmaine says, thanks for sharing this grant opportunity. Absolutely. If y'all find grants during August that you want me to do something like this with, I would be delighted. August is Black Philanthropy Month and Black Business Month. It is two of my favorite months together. And so it is a great time to learn how to get this funding, especially if you're a Black business, you're a Black nonprofit, you're a Black community member. This is all about celebrating our time and really celebrating the generosity of our community. It's about giving back. It's about mutual support. And it's about just pouring into each other. For me, one of the things that I love to do especially is I do free challenges. I think that they're like a really great way to get some training. The challenges are always free. The replays are paid. So a lot of people come and they just go to the free part, the challenge where you go live, you like listen to the things, you write down the stuff, you take your notes. Since December, our challenges have generated over $800,000 in funding for Black folks, well over $800,000 for Black folks, just from the people who went to the challenge, y'all, and just like, I'm going to do these steps. So I'm really excited about that. One So Mellow says, great questions, Bridget. Dissolve 3/4 of my fears. Woo! Bridget, you really helped people this morning. Thanks for coming and gracing us this morning with that very generous question and information sharing. If y'all are not in our challenge, y'all should register at inclusivedatachallenge.com. Why? Because we gonna be doing stuff like this, but like kicked up times 10. So we've done things in previous challenges like, we had a multi-day challenge twice, actually 3 times, where we look at a real life grant together and we apply together. And I'm really focused on that because some of y'all have told me last year I only applied for 1, maybe 2 grants. This week I applied for a lot more. And the more you apply for with strategy, then the more you can win. So we want to make sure that y'all are able to achieve that kind of transformation. But we also want y'all to be doing bigger and better things. So this month we're focusing on 6-figure funding. Say it with me. 6-figure funding. How many figures? 6 figures, right? And so we want y'all to know how to get into these larger awards. We want y'all to know how to get multiple streams of income that are 6 figures. Like we want y'all to really know how to do that thing. And so like that's why we're doing that. Make sure you register at inclusivedatachallenge.com. Once you're in there, you're going to see some goodies like that deep question by question walkthrough I did for this grant. I talked about this many sentences for this and this many sentences for that as my strategy for how to apply. And a lot of times, I'm going to be honest with you, grant writers like us who've gotten over $18 million in grants, like we don't always have the opportunity to share information like that with y'all. So I'm really excited. The challenge itself is August 23rd through 26th, but we will have goodies before that. So it's a good idea to get in sooner rather than later. And with that said, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much for coming. And thanks for those of you who hopped on behind the scenes. There's quite a few of y'all. Special shout outs to Bridget, KCTV, Alethea, Dania, Michelle, KTL, Jasmine, Carmen, Tamara for coming behind the scenes. Y'all being on my email list means that you can be behind the scenes with us and able to ask your questions privately and even come on the screen and tell us about yourselves and what you do. And we will see y'all next time. Stay safe, healthy, and we'll see you in a bit, y'all. Take care. Bye, y'all. Bye, Instagram. Bye, the rest of y'all. See you next time.